What is up, my fellow sports fans? My name is JP Cortez, hosting here for Tez Sports, and yet another edition of the 2012 NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Tournament Breakdown. This is the West region. I'm going to go a little faster than I did in the North, so let's get right into it. The number one seed in this region is Michigan State, and they are taking on LIU. Honestly, 1 versus 16, this has never happened before, and I don't think it will. I have Michigan State prevailing in a blowout. Next up is number 8, Memphis versus number 9, St. Louis. And honestly, it's 8-9. Again, like I said in the last one, it can go either way. I like Memphis, and I like them to bring a very challenging matchup to Michigan State in the next round. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to keep moving on. As we look at the 5-12 matchup, always a sexy pick. You have New Mexico versus Long Beach State University. I don't see this as one of my 5-12 upsets. Maybe you do. I like New Mexico as a contending team in this whole entire region. Honestly, I don't see it happening. I have Long Beach State losing. Maybe a close one. I'm not sure. New Mexico advances. So we look at number 4, Louisville versus number 13, Davidson. And, Davidson is a solid team. I will give them that. They won their fair share, 20-plus games. And you look at Louisville, they went right through the Big East tournament. A very sloppy win over Cincinnati to win it. And you look at UConn from last year, and you think maybe it could happen with Louisville this year, run the whole thing. I don't see it happening, but I definitely see them beating Davidson in a pretty convincing win. Moving on to play New Mexico, which is going to be a very intriguing matchup, but I'm going to keep going on with this bottom half of the region. We look at number 6 Murray State versus number 11 Colorado State. While Colorado State does play in a very underrated conference, they won their fair share of games. I'll give them that. They were consistent, inconsistent, whatever. Murray State, though, is 30-1. They beat St. Mary's. Their only loss was to Tennessee State, and that was a very close loss. I don't see this happening as the 6-11 upset. So I have Murray State advancing. We look at number 3 Marquette versus number 14 BYU, as BYU beat Iona in front of my face a couple minutes ago. BYU went down so many points. I don't see them making that deficit comeback again against Marquette, who I think could put up a lot of points very quickly against the BYU defense. So, yeah, I have BYU losing. Moving on to the 7-10 matchup between Florida and Virginia. Virginia started out the season very good, very confident team. I would have took them, except for what they've done in the past few weeks. They've been pretty sluggish, inconsistent. Honestly, I like Florida in this one, based solely off the reason that Virginia's struggling, and Florida, they've been keeping with Kentucky. They never beat them. They could stay toe-and-toe in the SEC, which isn't a great conference, but I don't trust Virginia in a 7-10 matchup. Either way you slice it, you look at the 2 versus 15, you have Missouri versus Norfolk State, and I'm sorry, Missouri's going to blow them out. I thought Missouri should have been a number 1 seed. I might be on my own boat with that, but I really do think Missouri is a stronger team than Michigan State in this own bracket. So moving on to see who plays in the Sweet 16, we have Michigan State versus Memphis. I really like Memphis pressuring Michigan State, but Michigan State is just such a rough team. I don't see it happening. I don't see an 8 versus 1 upset in this one. It's going to be close. It's probably the second closest 8-1 matchup outside of maybe Kansas State and Ohio in the East bracket. But moving forward, we have New Mexico and Louisville. This is a tough game for me to pick because I'm a Big East fan. A lot of people are picking Louisville to go to the Sweet 16. Some people are even picking Louisville to beat Michigan State and advance to the Elite 8. I don't know why, but I don't trust Louisville. Louisville, they scratch for their points. They're not a great half-court team. And I do think New Mexico, I don't think New Mexico's a great team. Maybe not a Sweet 16 in every other region, but I do think they have enough to beat Louisville, who I think will struggle down the stretch of games. Moving forward, we have Missouri State versus Marquette. And while I think Murray State might have a challenge against Colorado State, they're going to have a bigger task on their hand when they verse Marquette. And again, I'm a Big East fan, but I'm going to go with Murray State. I don't know what about it. This bracket does not have many upsets, and I don't see it happening. Marquette's been recently. That's the best way I could put it. They struggled in the Big East tournament. They didn't beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and I do trust Murray State to beat them. Now, looking forward to Florida, Missouri again, 2v7. I think Missouri is just such a better team than Florida. In and out, it will be a close game. No disrespect to Florida. I think they put up a better fight than Virginia would, but I have Missouri. Moving on to the Sweet 16. Now we have number 1 Michigan State versus number 5 New Mexico. And New Mexico, I don't think is tough enough to beat a Michigan. If it's Louisville, maybe. If Memphis is there instead of Michigan State, maybe. But I have Michigan State advancing to the Elite Eight. And on the other side, I have Murray State versus Missouri. I want to be safe here. I don't think Murray State is going to make Elite Eight run. I'm giving them a Sweet 16 based solely off the fact that I don't like Marquette winning tournament games. So I'm going to take Missouri to advance to the Elite Eight to play Michigan State, who I think is a better team in this bracket. I think Missouri is a better team than number 1 Michigan State, and that's why I have number 2 Missouri beating Michigan State and advancing to New Orleans to play in this Final Four. So that is all for the West region, in which I have Missouri going to the Final Four. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave some feedback. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Leave a like if you liked it. Follow me on Twitter. Argue with me on Twitter. Argue with me here. I don't care. So I'm moving on to the North region as we speak. That'll be up as soon as I have a chance. If it's not already annotated on the screen, there's every video of the other regions. And hopefully in due time there will be the Final Four projections. Anyway, I hope this helped you guys out with your brackets or whatnot. And I hope you guys win your brackets. But that's it for me. I'm out of here. Peace.